guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we'll be answering a few questions from your Instagram questions answer Wednesday, and we have, as usual, very interesting ones. One is about the Trikona to Navamsha, Trikona to Karakamsha. We have a few yogas, parivartana, Rahu in 4th house solution, Lagna Lord with the 8th Lord in the 9th house, also how to see spirituality in the chart and how to see the timing. So the questions are very interesting. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up, and if you like to be notified about similar videos in the future, please subscribe with the bell notification on. So let's dive right into the video. It's about Virgo Lagna and the moon being the lord of Cancer and Taurus, so 11 and 9th, and being in the 2nd house for Virgo. So I would say it's a good yoga. Moon and Venus is bringing that situation when you can feed other people, Annapurna yoga. So 11th in the 2nd is Dana yoga, so you can gain wealth from food, maybe some projects related to hotels, yachts, spa, all the situation when the mind is getting that comfort, refreshment, peace, nice wealth. Of course, the Navamsha has to support as usual. Could you ascertain the spiritual progress in one's kundalini, or can you tell about the life spiritual journey? So the answer to this question can be basically divided to that static. So when we are analyzing the yoga for spirituality, because without them there is no talk of timing spirituality at all. And then we are bringing that dynamics. So we are using the dashas, the houses. And so first the static yogas, Atmakaraka in the Navamsha, and the Trikona and 12 to the Atmakaraka will show the dashas of the spiritual progress. So this is about the dynamics. Now if you connect it to the 4th house in the Navamsha, which is showing the Moksha Ayana, which is the spiritual progress, and you can take also the 4th Lord to the Rashi chart, then you may understand how the spirituality of the person will develop. If a person wants to be really renounced, like sannyasi or brahmachari, then you are taking the 3rd and 6th from the Aruda Lagna. For tapashvis, you have also Venus in 8th house or the 2nd house. Pravraja yogas like moon with the Saturn, 4 planets together. This is the Pravraja yoga too. For spiritual people, you need to have the sattva raised and the rajas is pushed back. If we are talking about the real renounced spirituality, not the capitalist spirituality, so then we have this Mercury and Venus normally in 3rd or 6th from the Aruda Lagna, and the sattva has to be raised. So Sun, Jupiter, Ketu must be strong. 1st, 5th and 9th, the Trikona also, especially the 1st and 5th when the Sun is playing that strong role. For example, in the chart of Srila Prabhupada, we have the Jupiter, Ketu and Sun in the 9th house, and the 1st and 5th are very strong because the 5th Lord of the mantra is with the moon exalted, which shows the Krishna mantra. The Jupiter, which is the Lagna Lord, is also showing the ideals very strong in the 9th house, and the Mercury and Venus, the planets of rajas, of enjoyment, right? You need to keep that in check. So that is in the 6th from the Aruda Lagna. There are certain houses for the Atmakaraka when we can say if the spirituality begins in the young age or middle life or the late life. You can also judge the spiritual yogas, how they are placed in the chart. Ketu Viroda Argala. There is a nice lecture of Isti Larsen on the YouTube. So you are checking the Argala on the Ketu but in reverse, and then you can check which part of the charts are basically supporting your spirituality and which are blocking your spirituality. And then use the dashas, use the houses as an indication when something is happening, and then based on that static view which I just mentioned about the yogas, and if we incorporate the dashas to it, we can bring that dynamics. And then of course we can use also the Vimshamsa chart. So the Vimshamsa, one of the divisional charts, when we are dividing the one sign to the 20 parts, and then in that chart, the 5th, then the mantra, the 9th house, the guru, Lagna may show awareness, self-knowledge. 6 and 11 may be problematic. Then we have a yoga of Budha aditya yoga with the Rahu in the first house in Leo ascendant. So Rahu in Leo is bringing that prince nature. Rahu in ascendant is not the best because it has the 0 digbala, so 0 directional strength, confusion, and this confusion may end up afflicting the houses lorded by the Rahu. The Mercury and the Rahu may bring some revolutionary character, especially in the childhood, being in the ascendant, I would say. Some scholar activities, research. Sun and Mercury is bringing that Nipuna, Suryaditya scholarship, and the health should also be good. Rahu is with the Sun hitting Jupiter, so when Rahu is with the Sun, it's afflicting the Jupiter. So how is Jupiter placed in the chart? That would be my next step to analyze. The question is, Venus in the 7 in Libra is making one more into many relationship, or it's good for relationships. So basically the 7th house and its lord, when connected to Venus, bringing that Karaka yoga, this is the blessing for your relationship. So your relationship is going good, it's great. But it can be too much if the Jupiter or the Sattva guna somehow it's not controlling. This is because these Rajasic planets, Venus and Mercury, they want to expand. It's very hard for them to stop. So for example, if they join the moon, then the person is very creative, but the mind is working all the time, and it can be seen as troubling the mind, Venus and Mercury. So similarly, if the 7th house, normally Venus and Mercury expand relationship, which can give lot of relationship. But in the Libra, maybe exception, Venus in own sign is like a water. It rises to the level of Tattva Devata. Tattva is the primary elements, and Devata is the controller, the Lord, the God. So here the Durga is manifesting in the 7th house. Therefore, this is a bit different. I would say that this Rajasic trait is here not so dominant. It's more about something similar to Moon now is appearing. So it's more sattvic disposition. It's about 7 Lord and 8, so we don't have here much information for this. Basically, if the 7 Lord is here related to Dushtana, then it brings the losses related to partnership, either private life or career life, depending how the rest of the chart. Mercury, Venus, Navamsha, Dashamsa, Upapada, Aruda, what they support more, where is the real loss. And the Karaka of the planet here, the Saturn, may show also the cause, right? So Saturn may show bad decisions, waste, delay, not acting on the time, losing the materials, some disease, right? So all this Karaka, the Saturn, is referring to maybe the cause of that loss. Bipin is asking, you said about 8 Lord in the first, but what does it mean if Lagna Lord is conjoined with the 8 Lord in the 9? These 3 yogas now, Lagna Lord is with 8 Lord is in the 9th, and Lagna Lord is in the 9th. So all these indications will act in the same time. Their modification, their strength, intensity these energies will be channelized differently based on the Karakas. So for the 8 we have Saturn, for 9 we have Jupiter, for Lagna we have the Sun. So Lagna Lord with the 8 Lord has the similar effects like Lagna Lord in the 8. So it will also bring the person may give sickly, may give that person may steal something or be interested in, at least in the resources of others, especially malefic Mars. Also a Siddha, so person who is striving for perfection, that will be there. Now 8 Lord in 9th house is a problem for 9th house, may show some loss of fortune, depending again on the yoga and the other house, which will be lorded by the 8th house in this situation. And Lagna Lord in 9th house also is another yoga. So all these 3 things will happen at the same time. Lagna Lord in 9th is making one principled, independent, also depends on the sex here. Is it male or female? it may afflict the father. The next question is moon in the 7th house in Navamsha and Cancer. What does it say? Normally the moon in the 7, according to Shastra, is bringing the fair complexion spouse. So all these moon traits, emotional, caring, sensitive, family-minded, family-oriented, very balanced person, very nice, cool. All these moon features will be there. For the native, however, is bringing strong desires for the opposite sex, so may give that drive. The next question is moon in Virgo and Mercury in Taurus considered parivartana? Yes, it is. How do you treat Mars in Taurus and Venus in Scorpio for Scorpio Navamsha Lagna? Yeah, so Mars in Taurus and Venus in Scorpio is again parivartana. They will exchange their signs, right? Parivartana is basically the exchange. We have here Mars in the Venusian sign and Venus in the Martial sign. So this can definitely increase again this many relationship. So the intensity is one vote more for that, I would say. Especially Venus in Scorpio. I think Parashara said that Moon, Mars or Venus in the Scorpio Navamsha is increasing that Bahustri yoga, many relationship yogas, especially if that would be 2nd house somehow related there. The next question we have Rahu in 4th house, problems and solutions. So malefic in 4th is Kapata yoga, you can be cheated. In mothers related to either Charakaraka of Rahu, or it can be Arudas related to Rahu, or in Trikona, or lordship of Rahu, so the yoga involved. And the solutions will depend on other planets in Kendra or Trikona, whoever is stronger among Jupiter, Venus and Mercury. Maybe the dispositor, if well placed, can also be used as a remedy, or the moon, because the moon is the Karaka. So depending how the moon or the Lord or these 3 planets are placed, I would choose the best one. And based on the house, I would choose the mantra as the remedy for this Rahu in 4th house. Question is the conjunction of Jupiter and Ketu is good? Yes, this is Parampara, the tradition yoga. In Sanjay Rat, we have Ketu in 10th, Jupiterian sign. In the Aruda Lagna, person is the head of the tradition and belong to 100 years tradition. Makes person pure, so Jupiter with Ketu is very nice. Differences between the skills and trines from Karakamsha and Lagna in the Navamsha. So the Lagna in the Navamsha and the Trikona to the Lagna in the Navamsha, you are born with those. Karakamsha is more the soul, so the knowledge is definitely there. So the ability is related to Trikona, then more knowledge is related to Karakamsha Trikona. That was one way when I learned this. Also, we can say, for example, when it comes to jyotish, if you have those spiritual yogas in Trikona to Karakamsha, then it is totally enchanting your soul. I remember Sanjayji said that if you have those malefics in the Karakamsha to Trikona, which is giving you the skill in mantra, yantra, tantra, according to Jaimini and Parashara. But if you have this, if you have this in the Trikona to Karakamsha, I remember Sanjay said that you end up in a situation when you cannot sleep because you will be all the time thinking about the jyotish. So it's very much close to your soul. It's also showing the knowledge. But how easy it will be to manifest, this can depend on the Navamsha Lagna position. If you want to manifest what you love, this knowledge, this skill which is coming from, which is so closely related to your soul, what happens when you manifest? Let's say it's in 8th house. I have this luckily in 5th and 9th. I have 3 malefics in the 5th and 9th from the Navamsha Lagna. So when I want to manifest this knowledge, Sun, Jupiter and Ketu, it's good. It doesn't create a problem. But if you would have that in Dushtana, then it may be also maybe you need to sacrifice some area of life to manifest those. Okay guys, so that's gonna be it for me. I hope you find it interesting and informative. If you do, please click that thumbs up. And if you'd like to be notified about similar videos in the future, please click that subscribe button with the bell notification on, and see you in the next one.